If you're a minority man and you've ever felt invisible in dating, this isn't in your imagination. It's real. And the key to understanding how you can get over this is understanding you've been lied to. All right? I did 10,000 cold approaches, worked my absolute ass off, and was still invisible. This isn't theory or something I've concocted. This is real lived experience based on my experience and that of many, many minority men who went before me. D, let's get into it. A topic close to your heart.
Right.
Is this reality or am I making this up?
Well, I wouldn't say that you're making it up because, during my lifetime of being a coach for like almost 10 years, for practically a decade,
Yeah.
I've had students of all racial ambiguity and different preferences: Asian, Middle Eastern, Black, Indian. And usually when they are of minority descent, they kind of have it harder.
Different, right?
Yeah,
Harder,
it's a little bit
very different
It's
game.
a little bit different in the playing field versus like when I get like, in particular, a white client, because his
Tommy?
social status is higher in a perceived value, so therefore it's easier for him to develop relationships or get results with women. But in terms of me, with the minority clients, their receptivity and their AKA frame sexual market value in the playing field is a little bit lower unless there's a certain archetype or preference like she has, like if she fetishizes black guys, if she likes K-pop, if if you're a brown guy, can you pass as Dominican? It's hilarious to say I've seen like Indian guys who are like, black as shit, dark as shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Guyanese type thing.
yeah, Guyanese type, and she'll get like,
Sri Lankan, black looking.
yeah, exactly, and he'll get like unlimited white girls just because the white
Archetype,
girls see,
innit?
yeah, exactly,
Because
archetype,
they think he's
see
black.
it, they think he's black, and they give him a chance.
So that's the thing, yeah? So D, most dating advice that exists in the world is very generic. And it's based on men who are already pre-selected. White men, black men, who can be told, just be yourself, go out there, yeah, shoot your shot. They already have an archetype that exists in the world that is considered attractive. From Hollywood movies, from sports, from social media, from the media, from culture. In other words, they have an advantage. That shit is true. We'll show you data, facts, and statistics right on the screen here. That shit is true. The playing field is not level. That's reality, all right? We ain't complaining about it, but what we're gonna say is some men start with more friction, do they not, D? Some men, as they head into an approach, go on the apps, whatever, there's a little bit more, what the fuck is this, right? There's a little bit more friction and hesitation. Therefore, let's call a spade, race, archetype, stereotypes. These are real variables. This ain't shit we're making up, right? And as we go through the video today, you'll see the things that me and D did with myself. I was able to get past this because I learned, right? So, key calibration here. We're not whining, we're not blaming, we're being clinically honest, all right? Because we're here to serve and be best in class for our Indian, Asian, and all minority brothers, all right? So, let's get into it.
Right.
Dating, right? We're not saying, oh, it's hard. We're not whining like that, right? We're saying it's different as a minority man. It's a different experience, yeah? So what we're saying, D, yeah? The issue is if you take the generic approach that is for the mainstream, that's catered to white and black men, and you do it as a minority, some bad shit happens, does it not?
No, it definitely is, because I've had a lot of guys who would come to me, and I'm not gonna say no names, but they did boot camps where they paid anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, and these are like super famous. Like you can just Google them, you'll find them on YouTube and everything. And it was like really generic advice. Like I won't say the name of the coach, but the coach was specifically take them to third world countries or Latin countries where even if you're at a deficit in the sexual market value, women are already receptive because they see that you have money and you can get them out of their poor circumstances. So they take that to delusion that they're actually confident, and maybe they get like a couple of hookups and they think that like they're a man, like, oh shit, I got it. But as you've seen it, when these clients come back to work with me in New York City, can't get nothing, can't get shit, get blown the fuck out, and they're confused. They're like, why am I having results overseas, but I can't get anything in my hometown or into a major city where the playing field is unfair, where race, height, looks, all that matters. And unless you're able to put yourself in an archetype or where your game and your aura is actually like really strong, it's going to be more difficult for you. So I try to rip off that bandage because they come with such anger, resentment. You know, they already spent money, or you know, they're giving generic advice too when the coach is like a handsome guy or he's like 6'2", 6'1", whatever. You know, be yourself, have more energy, bro. It's just your verbals, but they're not. You know, they're getting a lot of clients have the wow factors, specifically like Asian and browns. My black brothers, you know, because we were raised in a little bit more rougher environment, that they question. They're like, my God, is this shit real?
More skeptical.
Yeah, they're a little bit more skeptical. But when a Indian or Asian
Finessed out the ass, huh?
finesse out, they see like a white coach automatically speaking to an Asian or brown girl, and she's just like a deer in fucking headlights, automatic number, automatic date. Already she wants to be like polarized or like, you know, feel sexual. She's letting herself feel sexual tension already because her mind is already pre-programmed to say like, this is what I want. And they're like, wow, if he could do it, I could do it
They
too.
get seduced easier.
Yeah, seduce
They're more
easier. And then
susceptible.
when they pay all this money and they do all this training, then they come to and be like, it didn't fucking work.
Devastated.
And then they're like, you know, I heard that you're this ambiguous, you know, minority guy. And, you know, they're really upset. Like, you know, then after that, I will kind of, you know, show me your game, huh? Let me see what you got. And you've seen it because I can translate my value within my masculinity, my core, my tonality, my riz, and how I act. I'm actually creating polarization where she's feeling that sexual tension of a man and my energy and my vibe. And they're like, whoa. So this is game. I'm like, yeah, bro, this is not just saying,
Yes, exactly.
hi, I'm white. Hi, I'm tall. Hi, I hope you like me for K-pop. Hi, I hope you got a BBC fetish. You know what I mean? It's like, because if you just depend on those things, that's all you are to your name.
Let's get into game more in a next section in the video, because the key thing that we want to communicate right now is that when you have a white coded, pre-selected coded approach to dating, which is, to be honest with you, be confident, improve your image a little bit, improve
Looks
your style.
don't matter. Looks don't matter.
There's some who even say that, but you know they're completely unethical people. But
I know.
complete bobos. But for the guys, you know, let's give the devil his due here. Either sensible people generally say, "Man, bro, just shoot your shot. Go out there, be a man, whatever." Right?
Yeah, run enough reps, you'll get lucky.
Yeah, like that.
Find
like
that one girl.
Bullshit.
Like,
but the thing with this is, what's going to happen in the field, in reality, out on the streets, in the clubs, on the apps, in social circle, whatever situation, in the community, minority men are going to get a lot of repeated rejection if they don't have initial frame and receptivity, and they haven't got the underlying approach mechanics like confidence, all that worked out. A lot of rejection. They're going to internalize that shit. And with a lot of repeated uphill struggle, it messes up your inner game.
Your psyche becomes really fucked up and dark.
You hesitate more. You become worse with women. You doubt yourself more. You know, you're more needy. These approaches, when it goes well, you're like, don't want to sabotage it. It fucks you, in other words, right? So you essentially take this on and you become the version of you that confirms this result. You start to think, well, maybe I am inferior. Garbage. All right, so here's the thing. I've been through this, and as I was doing my journey and doing approaches out of the ass for many, many years, right, looking very generic, looking very brown, I'd lost my way, I'd done various things, but my results were shite. And the worst part was I thought more effort was the answer and just push harder, keep hustling, without really understanding my bottleneck. And so I just got smashed, basically, absolutely smashed, and got dog shit results and ended up invisible for it. Now, what happens then was a realization, I ain't gonna quit, I'm a determined guy. You know what happens then? I'm thinking to myself, what if I'm doing something really wrong? What if I'm solving the wrong problem? What if it's not volume? What if it's not doing my little day game stuff? What if it's something else, man? And that's where I came to.
You gotta dig more internally because, like, let's talk about you, for example.
Yeah.
You know, like, we recently figured out, like, you know, you have a similar face to me. You have a very masculine, hard kind of face. And in today's generation of them being brainwashed by TikTok, wanting soft faces, twink faces, because of the the rise of the female independence and the war against men. Masculinity is frowned upon. So anything that looks rough on the edges, don't get me wrong, there's still a subset market for that, where women get, turned on. But, and I'm sorry for our Indian viewers out there, Ravi having a beard, he's just too Indian.
All the way. Generic.
Very, very
right?
Google. Like, I make 300K, bro. All of a sudden I was like, let me test a theory for him. And this is stuff coaches don't want to talk about. Let me see if I could change his archetype. Put on some glasses, change up his style, give him a goatee, and he became more exotic, like he was from, Trinidad or Guyana.
Dominican Republic,
or
Maxim.
Dominican, but he's, he's full-blooded Sikh, proud warrior Indian.
Yeah.
But in a market at New York City, they don't give a shit that he's 6'6". They just see like, ill Indian. And I'm sorry. I am sorry. It is the truth. It is what it is. So when we changed him and made him a little bit more like profound, with the goatee, the look to be a little bit more edgy, a little bit more streetish, night and day difference. And it kind of affected me psychologically, where at the point where I loved this guy like a brother, where I wanted to cry, because that's just how fucked up the game is. Like, he's trying his best, you're trying to find your wife, and all of a sudden, small little changes, you get a little bit less racist treatment because you look less Indian. And this is the stuff that coaches don't want to say. It's like, you can keep doing the approaches, but unless you change your archetype, your aura, your energy, and how you present yourself, you're going to be playing on difficulty. Same thing when an Asian guy goes to a Latin country. If an Asian guy goes to a Latin country, because anime, K-pop, Asian fetishization is so strong, he's going to fucking slay it.
Yeah.
They
do very well over there. Brazil.
Extremely well. I've seen it. I looked on TikTok, I look on IG, because I tried to go with the trends and collect data points. They worship BTS, and like your most nerdiest antisocial Asian type of guy can really like slay or get a hot Latina girlfriend being clueless how he got it. But this is the shit. You don't want to be clueless.
No.
You don't want to like bash your head against the wall. You want to know what works for you and what can you do to optimize those results.
For sure, coach, for sure. So here's the thing, yeah? That's absolute facts what D's saying there. Approaching out my ass, getting back into this stuff after 2 years. I've done my fair share of this work in my life. I've done a lot of this, hundreds of dates, had tremendous success. I'm now looking for a partnership and trying to find a future partner, right? But I'm a guy who, no matter what my circumstances were, slayed, did very well, okay? Undeniable. And what I came to understand is 3 layers in this shit, right? Here's how I want you to think about it. Where guys get bottlenecked and start to fail, if they're minority men, there's 3 common areas. One is perception. When you present yourself in front of a woman, like it or not, you receiving her gaze is going to trigger her perception, all right? If her perception is, oh, this looks like a generic 7-Eleven worker. Oh, he probably works in tech. Oh, he's probably a professional. Like, that's happening instantaneously.
5 seconds, she analyze you.
Whether you like it or not, you can be a cool dude, all that. Your initial framing and perception is creating an emotional response in her brain, yeah? Neuroscience. The brain has to make quick decisions. It works on archetypes. She hasn't seen attractive men who look like you, more in the mainstream, celebrated, all right? She sees a generic-looking Indian guy. There's no spice, no sauce there for the most part, right? Therefore, you're at a deficit. Whereas I can bring, me now, with my more racially ambiguous kind of image, I get way more frame off the bat. Way more.
Higher perceptional value. It goes up. The
Perception.
halo multiplier effect, if you want to tell them what that is.
Exactly. Halo multiplier effect is this, right? There's positive and negative halo. Positive halo is essentially archetypes that are considered attractive, yeah? A positive halo effect triggers positive emotions in a woman's brain where she thinks this man's desirable. He might have high replication value, right? That's triggered in her brain. She feels emotions, and once a woman feels emotions, that's where you can communicate and create sparks, yeah, and chemistry, right? Versus negative halo, you create no emotions. Brick wall game, I used to call it, yeah? Brick wall game.
She gets fucking pissed. How dare you?
This shit.
It's so true, man. She'll get
Brick
like,
wall,
how dare you approach me? Like, this is my value? And that's how they think.
Yeah, well, in New York City, of course, they think like that. It's a competitive environment, right?
Right.
London, same shit. But the thing is, this is where minority men lose. You lose. if you're a dumbass minority man and you fucking brainwash, like, oh, people are nice, bro. Everything's cool. Everything's rainbow. Homie, come here, New York City, come London, come do sets with me. We've had minority coaches come out here, bro, and blown out the
Yeah,
ass.
I remember I had one Indian client, very attractively handsome guy. He would do good in Europe.
Bollywood frame.
Yeah, pretty much. Then he came to New York and he's like, dude, why are they treating me different? I'm so used to everybody being so easy and open. I'm like, you're in a different environment, aka different rules to the game. So you gotta
Competition,
adapt.
boy. Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, competition, all it's telling you is the truth about human nature. It's just when they got multiple options, yeah.
It's like, why you?
But that's the thing, innit?
Why I need to pick you?
Yeah. But if you want to reliably have a product that can win worldwide, yeah, your shit has to work. You have to make it work, right? That's a perception, right? Where minority men loses, half these boys' game ain't tight, so they enter any interface with a woman. They got no frame, so they're already in an uphill battle because perception. Get that into your head, boys. Perception. If your perception isn't really strong, you are going to need tight game. You can be a killer out there, all right? If you're a killer out there, you'll make it work fine. 99% of you ain't got that little game. When I was hustling the streets every single day, 2 years, 7 days a week, I could make it happen. My game was stronger than it is now. Now, I'm coming back into it. I saw a lot. Very competitive environment. Perception is reality. Wake up to that shit. I ain't saying it's a death sentence. We can change your perception. There's a lot we can do to make your image adjacent to a already proven archetype. We know how to make you win as an Asian man, how to make you win as an Indian man, how to make you win as a black man. But you got to be open-minded to this shit.
Well, let me add one thing to what you're saying
Yeah,
too, because as you've seen me being a coach for such a long time, and I've met characters and personalities that will always like fight with me so much. Like, don't be the guy who just goes out there and looks for that girl that is just receptive because either she was in the mood, she was ready, or some kind of circumstance, or she liked you for some superficial value, height, looks, race, fetishization. Because how many times I've encountered clients like that, they're a deer in fucking headlights. So they confuse the results with like, well, if I do 1,000 approaches, I'll get that one lucky girl that likes me because she likes Asian and anime. And then you literally don't know what the fuck to do. You're just waiting to get selected. It's like you're basically going out waiting to get hunted. And I don't want to confuse them with that because it's the same thing like for our brown clients, just going out there hoping they find that one girl that likes like yoga and stuff like that. That does help. It does help to know these things, but you don't want to depend on luck.
Dude, look, here's the thing, yeah. Look, attraction at this moment in human history, it's not like we don't understand this. It's relatively scientific. Women are attracted to men, yeah?
Correct.
Okay, biology. Like it or not, that's going to happen, okay? How most women's attraction works is, for the most part, it's archetype.
It is.
Most attraction between men and women happen, within the first few years of your life. It's already set what kind of your partner's going to look like. The environment you're brought up in, all right? The dynamics in your family, right? If you've got most people are set already. If your life is extremely turbulent and you go through trauma, then that changes your archetype you're attracted to. High levels of trauma changes who you're attracted to, right? But initially, the wiring of a female brain is already kind of set for the most part. Hence why, what is society pumping in? Like generic white men, right? For the most part, they don't really have too many of these issues because the framing is already on their side.
Yeah,
so most
swimming in results.
But that's what most women are default going to go for. Same with black men. Most women, by default, because this is how the world works, they're going to go for that. So we're dealing with Indian men out here. We're dealing with Asian men out here. Also dealing with a subset of black men who don't necessarily conform.
Well, you could say like, so our black brothers can understand too. It's like, sorry, I'm trying not to laugh. I met so many black guys that were like engineers and like smart,
several of our boys like
whitewashed, Books Brothers, Lululemon, Polo. And in her mind, that's not attractive as like the thug or the guy's like, yeah, what's up, like, girl. And black clients have told me this. He's like, because I'm a little bit like whitewash or proper upbringing. And in New York City, they like the rapper, the thug, the skater archetype for a black dude. The black man who's more educated is fucking suffering in results. And to me, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
How
it's
messed
facts.
up that is. So
Of
there's a
course, it's
reality too.
real.
They have a challenge as well because it's like
Yes.
you don't want to just be a fucking thug maxer. Like,
No, you
know what
don't.
I mean?
No, but that's where the conversation has to be. How do we mold our archetype?
Right.
Yeah. You got to think about what you're looking for. If you're looking for success in this game, you want to find a partner and whatnot, you got to think about your archetype, all right? Because it's going to be an uphill struggle if you don't. Next is identity. Minority men fail here. Why? Bro, if your archetype isn't celebrated in the media, isn't celebrated in culture, all right, you know what happens? You develop an inferiority complex. Why?
I had it. You had it.
I had it, of course, because you're going to get rejected out the ass, and that's natural to feel. You haven't got comfort to know, well, of course, I've got no problem. Millions of women like men like me. How are you going to say that's a generic Indian dude, bro?
Yeah, it's true.
How are you going to say that's a fucking Panjeet blown out the ass, right? Tech worker.
I remember I had one Indian guy. He's super smart and attractive, 5'5", was getting blown out the ass until he changed his archetype to look like more of like a West Village bro.
Oh, yeah? Clean cut.
Yeah, clean cut.
So he went
better
the white
haircut,
Maxon.
some like earrings and stuff. And he's like, dude, my receptivity is different. I
That's
said,
the
yeah,
thing.
because you don't look like a generic tech Indian boy.
So why don't we put it like
They
this?
see you as like, creative and artsy, and they're like, wow. And you guys have to accept that. I mean, I've gotten told this too. Oh, you know, for a light-skinned guy, oh, for a brown guy, or for a minority, you're different, you're cool, you speak up, you're dominant, you're sassy. And that's, of course, it kind of hurts me in a way because I'm just like, wow, so if I wasn't what I was, or if I wasn't, you know, but it is what it is, man. It's a part of the game, man. Even me, like talking about it now, it's hard for me to say because it's just, it fucking hurts. Even like, it's just, it's a pill you got to swallow for the rest of your life. That's just how it is.
The world ain't a fair place, boy. No one ever promised any of us a rose garden. What our company culture says, I just want an opportunity. Yeah, I'll do the work. I don't care how hard it is, but I need to find a pathway for men like me to win too. I want to participate. I want to make it in my life too. I don't care if it's a grind. I don't care if I have to switch this, switch that. But you got to give me a map. I got to figure out a way that I can get there too. You know what I'm saying? And the way that men like me, like you, D, and the brothers watching this can get there, yeah? Fix your perceptional value, get your identity straight, and get your skill locked down.
True.
You know what I mean? You do those three things, it's impossible for you not to make it.
It's true. It's true. Because I've dealt with like minority men clients, bitter, hateful resentment, you know, like I hate women, they're all racist, they just want white guys, they just want black guys. Same thing, I dealt with black guy, oh, they want me to be a BBC. So once you get rid of that triggering mindset and then you develop who you are as a man, that's step one, working on the inner. And then after that, you work on the outer. What is your riz? How can you perform? You're building the archetype. Are you a man? Can you lead? Can you stimulate emotions? And then in the bonus of your archetype, creating your image, put all those three together, you have a well-deserved platform or, you know, product of yourself, which will cater to the market to do better.
You most definitely, coach. And the key thing that I want to emphasize, guys, is that like you boys, just trying to fix your skill, be a little bit more confident. You need to understand it's three variables. You got to get that perception right. You got to get that archetype in SMV right. And you ain't going to fully achieve your goals and realize your potential if you don't, right? Then get your identity right. Then get your mindset right, your belief system, your thought process right. Get all those calibrated at a very high level so you're a fucking winner, yeah? Finally, you got to get your skill right? You got to really know how to massively stimulate emotions, how to be very socially competent, fluid, and just kill it.
And remember, dude, like spam approaching is not going to help.
We're going to get into that right now, Hunk. We're going to get into that.
Right.
Let me talk about the numbers game then, right, Hunk? So look, the numbers game only works if each rep is actually improving you, all right? Then the numbers game works. If my archetype is solid, if my SMV is solid, if my mindset and my inner game is solid, my foundation, in other words, is strong enough that each approach is actually a data point where I'm understanding a girl is a mirror. All a woman is.
You're just trying to go to the fucking casino and hope you win $1 million. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, because the issue is if your fundamental confidence isn't dialed in, if the various ways in which you approach a woman isn't locked in, then you're going to keep reinforcing failure. And not only that, but like with how we train men, you're going to be expected to go out there with meta glasses and record, and we're going to actually, on calls with D, break down what happened, where you're breaking down, where your sticking point is, and that data is what we need to fix what's going on with you.
Yeah, because
internally.
we gotta let them know it's not gonna just be about it's your energy, bro.
No.
Be more forward, bro. Be more confident, bro. And through the meta glasses approaches, which is a front-facing POV, I can see if your tonality is bad. I can see the receptivity if she's turned on by you, if she's turned off, if she's scared. What do you need to do more comfort? Whether if there was no pizzazz, no ping-ponging between you two, whether it needed to be like more of like of a fun conversation, or the conversation was too boring, where to steer it and where to take it and where to lead it. Also, what else I could specialize in too, as I've spoken with Ravi, call us about your tonality, confidence, anything within the realm of how to be a man. I will make sure that you will understand the dynamics of that, not just through superficiality of be yourself, bro.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, right? The truth is going to come out. The girl's a mirror. You go out, you approach. We can make the numbers game work if we're looking at it scientifically. I'll give you a hypothetical example.
Right, let me hear it.
Yeah, me when I was generic Indian looking, right? So I didn't have like my hair shaved as it is now. All right, I had a full beard like that. I used to wear a baseball cap, whatever. Going out there, what we learned was they weren't giving me nothing. It was brick wall game, yeah? Hey.
Yeah, they would just look at you, but the fact that
They gave
Rav was
nothing.
like such a masculine, like strong guy, they would stay and listen. They'll be just, they'll be annoyed and like, can you just leave me alone?
Yes.
And like, why are you annoying me?
Yes. Now, yeah, previously, a couple of years ago, my archetype was a little bit different, right? I had that like longer Bollywood hair. I was real skinnier, right?
Yeah,
and I was in
but
different markets
you,
too.
you need to tell them like why I was so telling you a hard face does not make sense to be a pretty boy.
So look, archetypes, yeah? Attraction isn't necessarily something we have to guess, yeah? It leaves clues. You see patterns in the world.
Right.
You got a hard face, which I've got, D's got. More masculine face, yeah? You can make that work. But you got to really present it properly. This sort of shaved head look is congruent for a hard face.
Right.
Having like long floppy hair like I had before. But it's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's not enough to like pierce the veil because it's not a strong archetype.
It's incongruent.
Totally incongruent. So I shifted that, and then I was getting framing receptivity enough to actually
Yeah.
Make something work.
Show them your riz.
show me your game, coach. So it was enough to actually figure out what's going on with me. And thereafter, that approach data is useful if it's deliberate. If you're trying to think and ask yourself the question, why? Maybe the girl's completely not in your market. All of this is workable. We can observe and we can understand. Therefore, the numbers game, if you're scientific about it, can help us actually crack a guy's case. Every guy is a puzzle. Every guy can be cracked, but we need data to do that.
I would say technical reps, not retarded reps. Technical
Yes.
reps is understanding your market, understanding the gameplay, understanding the brutal truth of how you are
it works.
perceived and what you need to do. Because if you do retarded reps, it's basically saying, I'm going to go out there and approach 100 girls and just pray to God someone is just in a mode, in a zone, or some circumstance, like she's just in New York City for a day and she'll go on a date with me and I could get lucky. No, then you're just spinning your fucking wheels. You're praying to the moon and the stars. Is like you're not gonna learn anything. That's why I said technical reps is what make a man, because you're actually learning and understanding how your product works.
And I can tell you right now, most coaches in this space, totally generic, they're going to say shit like looks don't matter, right? Just improve your energy.
Don't get me started.
I know. But that's what these fucking dickheads are saying. Tons of these people in this space, right? Complete clowns, to be honest. They're going to tell minority men things like, well, no, just it's just your energy. Go out there, be confident, approach out the ass. You understand when minority men hear this, they're convinced by this shit.
Yeah.
They think, wait a minute.
It's also the same bullshit I've noticed that every mainstream coach do or white coach do. Don't worry about how she is. Don't try to assert yourself. Don't be a man. Don't battle. Don't do any pizzazz. Don't do, any rally-la-di-da. Just find that one girl. And I had so many said, D, why are you being a man? why are you trying to be dominant? Why are you trying to polarize? Why are you trying to lead? That's too much. And I just need to find that one girl. And I'm just like, bro, you understand what you're saying right now? Like, you
They
heard
don't
this
understand
before.
what
You
they're
should
saying.
explain to them what it means, that one girl
Look,
bullshit thing.
look. Here's the thing, okay? When it comes to attraction and the quality relationships people are looking for, there's a problem called key chaining, okay?
Right.
And the problem is, like, what we're doing is unique. This is about building something called core essence.
Right. Your
Core
aura.
essence is boundaries, proper social skills. You being a man who's in his own mission in this world, looking for the kind of woman he personally wants. You're in the driver's seat, you're leading, you're in the masculine role. And you've built sufficient core within yourself of going through the process of approach, of going through the trials and tribulations of improving yourself, that you've got deep internal boundaries, and also you've got mechanics and understanding of how relationships work, that when you see the power dynamics are not favorable, when you're seeing you're being led and so on and so forth, you have sufficient deliberate understanding that you can stop that.
Social awareness, because
Social
we've
awareness.
seen guys before, like, they'll tell me, well, I had so many girlfriends, and I would ask them, like, okay, did you lead any of their relationships? They're like, no. I said, bro, you got keychain. It's a new term we came up with. It's like when a man, he's being keychained either for different reasons. He has provision, he's a beta provider, or she sees perceptional value based off his status, race. Could be many things, but the whole point being is that you're not leading that relationship, and it can be
Transactional bullshit.
Yeah, it's transactional bullshit.
And that's the most relationships. So how do you get authentic relationships? Exactly what we're describing here, right? Be very deliberate about it. Build your core essence, right? Be polarizing. Be a man, right? Understand what you want in this world and make a decision to go out and get it. And we have a system for that, end to end, right? Now, we're going to wrap this one up by basically telling our men out there who are brown men, Asian men, black men, or minority men who want to make this work. Our philosophy isn't doomerism. Our philosophy isn't defeatist black pill. Our philosophy is reality-based, data, facts, and statistics, and how to build an attractive archetype, framing, and the social skills and the inner game that means that you can build yourself up as a man to fix your root problem. A lot of us minority men don't have mainstream framing. A lot of us minority men grow up in environments where we're not pre-selected. There's certain social conditioning that means that we don't have an advantage in the dating market. Therefore, our message is magnetism is earned. It don't have to be born. You can earn this by doing identity work, working on your presence, doing the reps, yeah? And if you do corrected reps, like the advisors here, you can become naturally magnetic after doing the work. So gentlemen, I'm here to dispel all hype, all bullshit, and make it really clear for you. This isn't hype or inspiration. This is fact. If you are Asian, Indian, black, minority ethnic, who isn't pre-selected, if you want to go out there and get the kind of quality relationships that you're looking for, we accept the market ain't fair. We accept we're not in a perfect situation out here, but we also take full responsibility to find a way to win. And the good news for you is we perfected this system and we can take you from where you are to what you're looking for. Final line I'm going to leave you with is this. Once you understand how the world works and the real variables, you are no longer guessing. You can get in the driver's seat. You can go out there and take something. My minority men, you get to make it too. Don't make it easier for your competition. Go out there and take what's yours. All right? That is when things change. Subscribe. Speak to you soon.
Powerful.